Yeah. So,
Gary, Karen is with you. I'm not sure you know that, but
oh, okay. I didn't see.
But go ahead, Gary. I don't really have an announcement. Just want to welcome Dennis Culpepper to the evening session. We
Hello, Dennis.
Hello, everybody.
cover the spring issue of Primetime Backgammon. So terrific player from Richmond, Virginia.
Yep. Okay. Great.
And also welcome to Nick Ray, who I see is joining us. I think he's been viewing some of the videos of.
Thanks, Karen.
It's great to have you with us. So I think both Nick and Raymond are on a different time zone, so special thanks for being with us at this late hour for you.
Yeah. Karen, there's a lot of background noise, echoing. I'm not sure why that is. Okay. So I was just mentioning that the next book we're going to go over is Michi's book. And now I'm getting background echoing. Well, anyway, Michi's book's called Masterclass, Michi with Mark Olson. And I've read about a third of that, and it's really a very good book so far. So I look forward to doing that. And we've got maybe 3 more sessions with maybe with Michi's back checker strategy. Okay, so for onto the actual lesson here, we've been going over the butterfly anchor, which is Michi's the term Michi's coined for the 3-point anchor, and we've been going over the tricky part about the 3-point anchor is that when he reason he calls it the butterfly anchor is because you want to leave it at a good opportunity much more quickly than say the advanced anchor, a 4-point or 5-point anchor. And so we've gotten over a lot of positions where you're going to leave the anchor. And today we're going to talk about situations where you're going to stay and not leave the anchor. So Michi's came up with some rules on that, and it's funny. He mentions a number of rules and then sort of adds partial rules a little bit, and then he's got some comments which seem to be different names for the same rule. So I just wanted to go over some of them. I won't go over examples yet, but his 3 main ideas were what he called. So these are when you would want to leave. You want to leave when you've completed the fort. He said that's what his termination. He also calls that development has complete or construction has settled. And so what he means by that is if you have a nice prime in front of your opponent, that's completing the fort. If you have a 5 or 6-point prime, that's the fort. Your fort is complete. That's what he means by that. But if you don't have that, maybe you've gotten as much as you can. Maybe it's only a 4 prime or a 3 prime, and you're not going to get more. So that means your construction has settled. He's called that, or your development is complete. In any case, there's not any more you can do with your checkers, right, in terms of creating the prime. And then another idea he's mentioned for time to break your butterfly anchor is if you have 0 or 1 spares left from your midpoint or in the outfield. So you're kind of out of timing. So that would be a good time to leave. And then a third idea is that if you're forced to leave a shot in your outfield, then you might as well leave the anchor. It's better to leave the anchor than to risk getting hit and going back in the race. Some things that seem to play in fact that Michi mentions but doesn't make that much of a big deal is a race lead. Generally, the idea is if you're heading the race, it's important, but I say it looks like less important from the 3-point anchor because sometimes you're going to break that anchor when you don't really have that much of a lead. Where in general, you're not going to break your advanced anchor unless unless it's really time to go. Okay, so let's look at some examples, and these are going to be mostly just to give you a heads up, I guess, to make it easier. These are cases where you don't, where you're not gonna, we're gonna stay rather than leave. And so we're going to talk about why that is, why you would stay here. So here we got a 5-4 to play. Oh, another point that Michi made is, one of the ideas for leaving is, well, if you have a good landing spot, a safe landing spot. So here we could play the 5-4. We could break our 3-point anchor and come out to the midpoint. The question is, what do we do with that? Is it, is it time to do that, or do we do something else? And what is that something else?
Well, I would go because everything else looks pretty feeble.
Yeah.
I think if you stay, you're definitely going to play 13-9, and then you've got 2 5s, and it doesn't look very strong.
Yeah.
But you imply that's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is a tough one.
I was thinking of 13-8, 13-9 to try and create a better home board.
Yeah. The thing here is that, okay, you got a safe landing point, which would be a good reason to leave, but you don't have any, you haven't completed fort, you haven't developed anything out here, on your home board, and that's what you'd really like. So let's look at the answer, and here it is 2 down, and this is slightly safer, but it's better than running out. And again, well, with no board, black has a better board. Black has checkers in the zone. Black is going to attack. You got nothing to stop him. He's got checkers. He's got a better board. So in this case, better do 2 down, or even this play, which stacks the 6. One alternative that now what though? As pointed out, the problem with 2 down is that, okay, you left 2 blots. Well, leaving 2 blots when you have 2 checkers on the ace point is one thing. Leaving 2 blots when you have checkers on the ace and the deuce, another, because you essentially double the number of hitting shots you have. So is this better to do this or not? We'll take a look. Sorry about the echo. Is everyone else hearing that echo?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know how to correct for that. I'm not sure what's happening. But, well, hopefully it'll go away. Anyway, so here, in this case, with the 2 checker split, it's better to run out. The 2 down here is actually a big mistake. If you're not going to run out, then this play, leaving only the 1 blot is better, or even hitting loose is better. Even though black has the better board. So, okay. Look at another example.
So, Tony, I've got a bit of practice. What was the difference between those 2 positions?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I got with
Here was the original. The difference was we split black's back checker.
sorry. Yeah, so that makes it weak. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
Yeah. That gives you 2 blots here in the outfield, and two starting points.
Yeah,
too many shots is the issue there. Okay, 6-3. Now here we've got We have a safe spot out here to land. But we don't have much of a board. In fact, no board at all. So what's the, what do we think?
You make a
quite
4
like the
point.
idea of jumping here and 22-13.
Yeah, we could jump here, but we're giving black has 11 checkers, or depending on how you count, 10.5 in the zone, with a 4 prime, we versus nothing. So what's the alternative to jumping out?
Making a 4 point.
Well, how'd you make the 4 point?
2 or 6.
Yeah, 10 to 4 and 7 to 4.
7 to, yeah.
So by doing that, we give a double shot on the bar point.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah. So it turns out,
Oh, 13-7, 13-10, of course, yeah.
yeah. And it turns out this is the better play by far. Now,
Oh, yeah. So obvious.
here we're not, we've abandoned our outfield, but now we've got 13 checkers in the zone, and black only has 10.5. And what we're going to do here, strategy here is let's build our prime or attack or do something and hope to contain black's checkers. This is part of the, you remember earlier on, he was talking about his F13 fight with 13 checkers. So here we're trying to contain the checkers with our 13 checkers, rather than subject ourselves to the attack. So,
So the idea after this move is to just build your inner board or take those guys out. You're just leaving the guys on the 22s kind of stranded out there.
yeah, we're waiting for double 6s or double 1s or something to to kind of help us out, and we're hoping to contain black long enough that the black's back checkers, hoping to contain them long enough for black to crash his board. Is
Mhm.
basically the idea. So,
Okay.
if black gets double 5s or something, he's got to suddenly play behind us. And we're going to try to play short here, to build our prime or to put black on the bar or something like that. And then, that's our strategy. Now, we're not favored in this game. This is a 42-59. So, this is, that's the strategy. It may not be, the best winning strategy, but it's what we got here. Now I did a variation on this. And let me see what it was. Whoops. So here this I thought was interesting. We're a little bit different here. And that now black has a 3rd checker back. So we're farther ahead in the race. So and basically there was a checker here and the 14 that I put back to the ace point. So now black has fewer checkers in the zone. And we're still, so now we can jump out better, and the attack is not quite as strong. But black still has more checkers back. So I wasn't sure what the strategy was here. So let's see, but it's still coming down. Although now that's not a blunder to jump out here. It's still, the idea here is that we haven't developed our board, and so we need to wait to develop that board. Even with the race being much more to our advantage now. Anyway, I thought it was an interesting variation. Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, this is, I was surprised by this one when I first saw it, but what are the plays here we should consider now?
Hitting.
Yeah, hitting, good. Now, where are you gonna hit? Now that, some of you may not see that right away. Ray, where do you hit from?
No, I said
It's
running.
Nick, actually. Sorry, it's 11-2.
Yeah, 11 to 6 here, 6 to 3, putting black on the bar. Yeah, so that's one option. And the other option, of course, is to run out. And so here, you know, I'd say that,
Or bring 2 down. So, oh no, it's 3. Sorry.
Oh,
well, yeah, we could bring 2 down. That would bring more checkers in the zone, but this one, what I think what Michi said here was our development isn't complete yet, because we have, you know, more, you know, we can hit, and if we can hit on the inner board, that's going to be stronger. Also, we are in a pretty much a blitzing position here, where, and what is a blitzing position? Well, you've got much stronger inner board points compared to our opponent. We've got 4 inner board points. We've made our ace point, and generally, if you've made your ace point, you know, that means that you can't, basically you aren't going to prime, and you know, and we have checkers in zone and we can hit. So the idea is to keep hitting black, putting him on the bar, and fill in our points. You know, if we hit him off the 2, we need a 5, or a 5 will cover. Now we got a 5-point board, and that should give us time to bring our other checkers around. So in that case, that's the right move here. And you know, and this is a big error to run out here. And in this situation, we have a fairly sizable advantage. It's only 55-45 to win, but the gammons here are pretty high at 20%. Okay. Okay, so here's another tough one. We're not in great situation, but we can break the anchor here. Coming out and doing 6 to 4 maybe, or 8 to 6 even. The alternative, well, what are the alternatives?
Not very good. I definitely would come out. I think Michi says that you should jump a prime when you can. So I would just let you jump this prime.
Yeah. So yeah, well, the alternatives are, if you break this point, well, you can't. Well, if you break this point, you've got to go 2 and then 6, and so you're going to leave a direct shot. The only safe play is 8 to 2, 6 to 4, which is pretty ugly. I mean, generally, you don't want to play past your anchor if you can, and you know, you don't want to start a point that you don't really want. But the question is, but the alternative is this. Let's say this one. And you know, the question is, well, is that better or worse? And you know, the answer is that it's worse. You're going to want to play safe in this case. And it doesn't matter, you know, 8, whether 6 to 4 or 4 to 2, or even this. Running out here is a huge blunder. And the reason is that you give black the chance to attack with either a direct 2 or an 11, or a 5 that hits, or a what's this? An 8 that doesn't hit. Now, obviously, hitting loose here, you can return and hit back, but you know, there are a lot of rolls that don't, and even if you don't hit back, even if you come in and safety the checker that's here, you still got to get over 5 prime, and you're no longer at the edge. So Michi formulates this into a kind of a rule that says, you know, don't break your anchor if you're going to leave 2 checkers in jeopardy. So here you've left in jeopardy this. Look at it. This position. So you left this checker in jeopardy, and you've left this checker in jeopardy.
Gary, just one thing. I must admit, I thought I saw 6-3 rather than 6-2 initially. That's why I was jumping out. So can you just tell us if 6-3 would be jumping out?
Yeah, actually, we'll put this. I think this is the alternative I had. Yeah, 6-3. Yeah. So now jumping out puts you out here. And now Michi's rule that don't leave 2 checkers in jeopardy. You haven't done that. Now this checker could be hit with an 8, but it's basically double 4s or 5-3. So it's not a direct shot. So you know, you can take that as 2 checkers in jeopardy being 2 direct shots. So yeah, and in this case, it's closer. So that, you know, before it was a 0.3 error. This case, it's still not right, because you still have 8s and 5s to hit, and then, well, the 8s are going to be hit from out here, but I guess a 6-2 he's going to hit from here, but you know, but it's closer. Yeah. So these are whoops. Yeah, so I mean, these are tricky. These aren't easy, and the rules Michi gives, you know, are helpful, but you know, sometimes they contradict each other, or they're not clear. Okay, so let's look at a few more. All right, so 6-1 to play. So here we can run out here, say, or here, but we left 2 checkers in jeopardy. This does, so when we have a 6 to play, this doesn't move, so we can do this. Also not a great play. Well, because not appealing, because we're going to leave a direct shot with a 1. So any thoughts on that one?
I like the idea of actually, you know, taking the risk, because you've got a 3-point board, nearly a 4-point board, compared to a 2-point board.
Yeah. Well, which risk? Because there's a risk either way.
So well, 22-15 looks a better risk.
Yeah. So here's one, you know, that, you know, we saw it called complete the fort, and here, you know, or different version of your construction has settled. So here, you know, we're not going to do much better than this board. The problem is that black's anchor is, you know, ahead of our prime instead of behind it. Much better if it's behind it. So yeah, so I can see, you know, you can see the appeal of running out. We're at an even race, but black is sort of stuck here. not quite stuck, but he's got to worry about extracting that checker. And so maybe now it's time to take it out. We do have the better board, and so black was going to be forced to hit us loose, probably, and maybe we get a return shot. The answer, however, is wait for it. To not run out. It's to make the point. Or this one, even this one. Running out, however, is a blunder. Oh, and so I didn't see. Yeah, the right play, if you are going to run out, it's run out, basically duplicating fours and keeping these two checkers connected, so that if black can't hit you, you can at least make a point, have a chance of making a point with a 5 next time. But again, this rule is, the rule here is if you're leaving two checkers in jeopardy, in danger, then reconsider something else. Okay. Oh, I guess that was the one we just did. Okay, 6-3 to play. Okay, so now we can safety that checker. Rather than leave two checkers in jeopardy. But the alternative over here is a little bit better. We can make the 2 point and slot the other one.
Or you can play 13-4.
Or we could come down. That's a good point too. So what's the right play here, do you think?
I just feel as though you've got to take a risk at some point, and this is the time you can take a risk, because you can actually get one of the checkers safe. So 22-13.
Yeah.
But you're probably going to say it's too risky because you get hit again.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got, well, you're looking at it. It's hard to say. You're right. We're gonna have to leave at some point. And
Shouldn't you leave
Michi's
before
other,
he improves the home board?
I'm sorry.
Shouldn't you try and leave before he gets a better home board?
Yeah, that's a good point. If you're not gonna leave now, when are you gonna leave? When's the better chance to leave? Because and Michi's other rule is, okay, you've got one spare out here. So yeah, that's what it says, but it's, it's time to leave. And this, the rule is, okay, you go once. What happened to this? Oh, this is the final. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, you've got one spare. You're not leaving two shots. You're leaving with just one, and you only have one. You have one spare. That was assigned time to break it, to break the anchor. Notice that all these, the race is even here, so you're not, this is the butterfly anchor. You're going to break it, even though you're not ahead in the race. Okay, let's look at one final example with some variations.
These are tricky.
Yeah, these are tough. This particularly if you look at some we'll look at some variation, but if you look at variations, they're not easy here. Okay, so we've got 6-3. So I'm sorry, 6-3. So we can run out safely again, like we did before. We can also we can play safely by coming down and doing 6 to 3, or we could attack by coming down and hitting.
I quite like hitting here because he's got that sort of that extra checker on the 14 point. That could be quite detrimental to us because you can make the bar point, and then
Yeah.
make it even more difficult to come out. And I think if we can halve his roll by taking him, I think that's a good option.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all that makes sense. The one thing I would say though is that making the bar point, I would be more worried that he would make
Yeah, I mean, he can get a
9-point
4-2, yeah.
Yeah, because then a 6, if he makes the bar point, we roll a 6. Then we're leaving one direct shot. Whereas in order to get out here, we need a 4 something, which you can do, but coming out with just a 4 puts us in a triple shot area. The answer here is revolves in another one of Michi's sort of proverbs. And it's that it's better to jump over the 5-point rather than hit loose. So hitting loose is the second best option. But jumping over the 5-point is better. And he calls that he puts that kind of as a rule. And if we look at some variations of this, this variation, I think, is the same. Oh, in this case, yeah, in this case, black has the extra checker in the zone. So let me go back to where it was.
Oh, he's got the extra checker on the 5-point. Yeah.
Yeah, here, black's got 9.5 checkers in the zone. I call this one a half checker because it's not directly going to extend the prime forward, but it's still, it still has its uses with this point or that point, the bar point or the 9-point. So here we jump over the 5 prime, but put this checker here, and now it's too dangerous because we're going to get attacked. If we run here, we're going to get attacked. We're more likely to get attacked. We're going to get hit loose. Again, we don't have the board strength here to do this. Another variation of this. Yeah. So here, now all I've done is instead of black having the 5-point, black has the 4-point. And so what does that have? So now black has the weaker board and the weaker prime. And in this case, well, now it's even. It's even. So Michi's rule that he talks about is, okay, if the opponent has the 5-point, you jump over it because it's more dangerous in attacking and in priming. But if he doesn't have the 5-point, then hitting loose may be just as good.
So Gary,
Yeah.
is that the jumping over the 5-point rule? Does that only come into effect if you don't have a developed home board? Is it part of reason to break your butterfly?
Yeah, so that comes into play. So let's take this play back. So now we can escape this one, or we can hit here. We can come down. So Michi's rule is to jump over the 5-point. But in this case, we've got black at the edge of a prime, and we have the anchor. I would, I don't know what the answer is, but I would hit here.
Yeah,
We're also behind in the race, and we haven't looked at the race. The race has been pretty close, but here we're behind in the race, and we can, we can attack. We now bringing him in, we'll have 11 checkers in the zone. So, and we, we have the better prime. We hit out the edge of the prime. Those are all kind of strategies that can converge. So let's see. Has anyone seen another play? Because I haven't. I mean, we could still play safely, but okay. Let's just take a look. Yeah. So here it's yeah, hit off the edge, and so in this case, Michi's rule didn't really apply, and that's because we have we have the stronger attaching, and we have the attacking and the stronger priming game plans. So play in line with that game plan. Whereas
Okay.
here, we can't prime him, and we can't, we might be able to attack, but we don't have we have the weaker board. So attacking is probably not the best idea. It's running out. All right, so that's enough of this. And these are, these are tricky. And Michi has tried to put in some rules and things like that. But as we've seen, if you tinker with things a little bit, the same rule doesn't seem to apply very much anymore. So so that these are these aren't easy. But again, his major point is with the butterfly anchor, you're going to jump out a lot sooner, and you really have to think about it. And look at the aspects of the position that are going to help you, and those aren't easy. Which that's what makes backgammon both fun and frustrating at times. Okay, let's go on to the Chouette.